Hello everyone, welcome to my home. I just thought I'd do this video as a final roundup of 2023, and I've entitled the video Heroes and Villains. Now I'm going to do this in one take. I'm not going to edit it, so what you see is what you get. I've got a little script here, so if I refer to it, I might go off the cuff, but shall we get down to it? I've whittled it down to 5 main villains that I thought need to be mentioned this year, and also 5 main heroes. So should we get the bad ones out of the way with first? Okay, let's go. Yep, coming in at number 5 are the lefty lawyers. Now see, these liberal left-wing money-hungry lawyers and their associates have caused a bit of an upset this year. You see, to take an example, a number of high-profile individuals working for law firms across the UK were found to be engaged in the practice of charging thousands and thousands of pounds to submit false asylum claims to help out people that want to stay here illegally. See, an undercover reporter from the Daily Mail was actually offered help to obtain refugee status in the UK, despite making it clear on a number of occasions that he was illegally here and basically had no right to stay. So let's have a look at this undercover operation here.
Mr. Lingajothi immediately began concocting a horrific backstory for his prospective client, including claims of sexual torture, slave labour and death threats. On the
part 2 of your case, why you can't live in India is we can say that the Indian government accused you of pro-Khalistani. You were taken to custody, arrested, and you were ill-treated, tortured, sexually tortured, and that's why you couldn't marry, and you were frustrated, you wanted to commit suicide, Atmahatya.
Yeah, there you have it. You see, you've got these guys operating up and down the UK. You know, Suella Braverman, she weighed in afterwards. She set up a professional enablers task force, but the fruits of which are yet to be seen. So, and another, like legal aid. You remember that guy, after 5 years of court appearances and £85,000 in legal aid that you have paid for, rapist Yaqub Ahmed was finally deported back to Somalia with a plush hotel, armed guards and therapy that you paid for, which is in contrast to the woman that he actually attacked when she was just 16 years old and has struggled to find so much help for the mental and physical scars that he inflicted upon her. But, you know, £85,000 in legal aid, shocking. So, also a quick mention to Rwanda, we'll talk about that in a bit, but, you know, there you go, the Supreme Court unanimously voted that that was unlawful, but lefty lawyers, number 5, get in the bin. So, coming in 4th position this year are the NGOs, such as Care for Calais. You know, these operating in the Calais area that give illegals access to all kinds of things, such as tents, sleeping bags, 3 square meals, electricity points, hot water, showers, clothes, shoes, used mobile phones, phone repairs and charging points, lamps, torches, toilets, internet access, English lessons, the list goes on. But what really grinds my gears are the people that are willing to do this. These people hold you, yes you, in contempt. Why else would you do this? You see, I ask myself this question, why would you do this if to actively encourage these illegals to take the short but dangerous trip across the channel? In fact, they often hand out leaflets, leaflets, telling them what to do when they start getting into trouble, telling them what to say when they land at Dover, telling them, indeed, for point 5, the numbers of these lawyers that they could get in touch with to game the system. No. Care for Calais is probably the biggest one. But then you've also got Utopia, mobile refugee support, and all the rest. You guys, You take fourth. In third place this year is Serco. They've had a pretty busy 2023, have old Serco, since they've been given the £1.9 billion 10-year contract back in 2019 to handle all of this rubbish that's happening down here in Kent Coast. You see, once our friends land in Dover, and I say friends as a bit of a joke there, once our friends land in Dover, Serco are quick off the mark, the forefront of the illegal experience. And this year the involvement has been huge, make no mistake. They proudly state, and I quote, that they focus on the needs of individuals in their care, recognising the different cultures and religions through managing facilities and providing services for people awaiting information regarding their asylum status. Rubbish. You are nothing but traitors. That's what you are. In fact, you're now getting involved, and you have been getting involved, but even more so, trying to get private landlords to come underneath your wing, your umbrella. So look, the Serco has been incredibly, we had upwards now, we've got upwards of over 450 hotels, whereas at the start of the year, we had about 300. So, you know, they're raking it in, these guys. These hotels and hoteliers have called off more wedding receptions, more holiday bookings, sacked more staff than in 2023. It's unbelievable. With seaside hotels, you know, down here, they're worst affected. Eastbourne is probably the worst down on the south coast here. I mean, homeless people are left. They're just left. Earlier on, when we had that cold snap, you remember that? 2 people froze to death within walking distance of these hotels. Within walking distance, one in Nottingham and one in Manchester. These hotels have got their windows wide open, heat blaring out. 3 square meals a day, Serco feed them. You know, Serco are on the door. They're horrible. You know, I wish I could put them in first or second, but no, I've got bigger fish there. Serco, they've even put out, the government have put out a tender to carry on until 2034. An extra 700 million, I think it is. Unbelievable. So, there you go. Serco, you're snakes. You're snakes. You take third position. Now, it is a tough call for Villain of the Year. And there's 2 that I had to decide between. So, without further ado, here's second place.
I will not rest until the boats are stopped. With grip and determination, the government can fix this. And we are using every tool at our disposal.
Rishi Sunak. What more can I say? What more can I say? Stop the boats. Has he? Has he? Boop. We're now at 30,000 boats so far this year. So, since his promise, 30,000 have come. Need I say more? Time after time, wet speech after wet speech, he has displayed his incompetence at every turn. Who here actually believes a bloody word that man says? He's absolutely no intention of stopping the boats whatsoever. They say for every will, there's a way. Correct. There is a way to stop this madness, Rishi, but you have no will. You have no will. For God's sake, look at the state of the situation that we find ourselves in. He hands money, hand over fist, to the incompetent French. That's the equivalent. That is the equivalent of paying the school bully your lunch money in case he doesn't punch you, and you'll get a slap anyway. That's all I can describe it as. £500 million he gave the French back in March. We've got record levels of legal migration as well. You know, we need to stop the boats, but it's just small fry when it comes to a place the size of Birmingham, for goodness sake. Birmingham. 700,000 legal, net over 1 million. Crazy. What is it? It just puts more pressure on doctors, dentists, A&E, police, school places, and housing costs. You know, if these HMOs come on, yep, they kick people out through no fault eviction. It is disgraceful. It pushes rents up in local areas, creates ghettos. Look at the state of this country. Look at Birmingham, Bradford, Bolton, East London. It has become untenable. It has become untenable. Sure, I might be able to just sit here and just rant at a computer screen and rant at you. But there are so many people across the UK that are still asleep, guys. They're still asleep. So under wishy-washy, you know, the cost of hotels, they say it's £8 million per day. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's well over that. I can expect within the first 3 months of 2024, they'll publish their official figures and it will be over 10 million. In fact, it's probably reckoned to be about 11 million now. So if you think about that and you think about all of the crimes that these guys are committing, it's madness. More camps have opened up. You know, it's just there's no end in sight to this. As I said earlier, they expect it to go on for another 10 years. It's all smoke and mirrors. They're all under plan. Rishi, what? He's not got the support of his own party. He knows that he's going to go in 2024. He's useless, truly useless. But who's going to replace him? Yeah, I ask you that question. Who's going to replace him? It's either going to be more or the same or even more if Keir Starmer gets in. What's going to happen? Time will tell. Time will tell. 2023 has been a god-awful year. And Rishi Sunak, I mean, also, what the hell was he doing reappointing David Cameron? So, Rishi Sunak, you take second. Now, who gets #1 villain this year? I'll give you a clue. Did anybody order a taxi?
Lifeboat volunteers don't see migrants or asylum seekers, just people at risk of drowning.
Fundamentally, people rescue people, and that's what the RNI has been doing for 199 years.
What do they say to your volunteers when they get rescued?
Thank you. There's the level of distress that's presented when you arrive on scene is quite palpable, and it does affect the crews when you hear women screaming, babies being thrown at the lifeboat so that they get rescued first. You can imagine it's a very chaotic and traumatic scene. So, of course, there is a sense of relief, as there is a sense of relief for any casualty.
Taking top spot this year is the RNLI. Yeah, it just had to be for me. Just had to be for me. Rishi, I could have put him at first, but the RNLI take it, and here's why. These are traitors. Guys, these are traitors who actively sail into French waters to pick up these illegals. They work hand in hand with border farce. I hold these collaborators responsible for many accounts of and actions that have caused misery up and down the land. How can these people sleep at night, guys? How can they sleep at night knowing full well that potentially one, if not dozens, of these feral young men will go on to commit some of the most heinous of crimes against their own citizens? Why you are my villains of the year, RNLI, is quite simple. It's because many of you, unlike border farce, are not paid to facilitate this invasion. You're not paid. Border farce are. You could refuse to put to sea. You could even, shock horror, refuse to sail into French waters. Have you ever thought of that? So along with border farce, your actions are ruining lives on a daily basis. From petty thefts to selling drugs to more serious crimes of assault, rape and even murder. The RNLI are abhorrent. Gone are the days when we used to revere them as heroes. They have turned their backs on us and continue to do so and will be held to account. Someday further on down the line, history will not judge you kindly, RNLI, and I hope you're feeling the pinch in your donation pocket. Now, you blindly follow your leader, who rakes in over £160,000 a year profiting from our misery. Well, I've got news for you guys. You can shove your donations where the sun don't shine. And I hope you have a miserable 2024. You have sullied the name of a once great institution and, like I say, history won't judge you kindly. So there you have it. That's my top 5 villains of 2023. Shall we lighten the mood a bit? Jump cut. I know, it's Christmas, so I thought I'd lighten the mood a little bit with starting this off, my top 5 heroes of the year. Let me take this off, come on. Ugh. Right, I'd like to give an honourable mention here to all of you guys, each and every single one of you. You're all my heroes. If I could thank you all, I would, but obviously there's only 5 places, so I'd like to start this off by giving an honourable mention to Maya Tuzi. Brilliant channel. If you're not subscribed to him, do so. Nigel Farage for what he did in the jungle. You know, I thought he did really, really well. And also Tommy Robinson. I know many of you don't like him. I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple of times this year, both at the Remembrance Service and also the March Against Anti-Semitism. He's currently taking on the government with regard to his unlawful arrest. But coming in at number 5, I want to give it to all of those patriots at Llanelli, the Strady Park Hotel, and indeed everybody doing their bit up at Scampton. If I could have come to either of them, I would have done. Unfortunately, £200 return to Lincolnshire is not feasible. Also going all the way to Wales is not. But I want to focus here on Llanelli and all of you proud patriots that managed to stop the Home Office from requisitioning the Strady Park Hotel. You managed the unthinkable, guys, you really did. And when plans were put in place to earmark that hotel for 250 illegals, you made them get dropped. Brilliant. Locals, when you got wind of it, you set up camp, you made it as difficult as possible for anyone involved in this nefarious scheme. And if it was to go ahead, dozens of people would have lost their jobs, hundreds of functions and bookings would have been cancelled, and a community asset would have been lost. This actually just goes to show the power of the people here, guys. Really well done. You held firm, and back in October, Home Office they gave up. So brilliant. Top work, lads and lasses. So brilliant, yeah. You take 5th place. So, yeah, in 4th place, it's Suella Braverman. Okay, yes. I know you're probably thinking to myself, what the actual hell is Suella doing as one of your heroes of the year? And that's a good question. So let me tell you why. I kind of feel a bit sorry for her. I really do. When she was given the role of Home Secretary, she was given assurances by Wishy-Washy that she could do her own thing, you know, and be supported. But she became frustrated time after time after time at every turn. And the role, once again, turned out to be a poison chalice, much like Pretty Useless Patel found out before her, and what James Cleverly is quickly finding out now. I generally do believe that Suella has the best interests of the country at heart. I mean, she's been a real pain in Wishy-Washy's side since she was unceremoniously fired earlier on this year. I mean, take a look at this letter that she wrote to Wishy.
A former Home Secretary has preemptively attacked Rishi Sunak, saying, "If we lose in the Supreme Court, you will have wasted a year. Your magical thinking has meant you have failed to prepare any sort of credible Plan B." But the letter continues, someone needs to be honest. Your plan is not working. Your resets have failed, and we are running out of time.
Oh, that's gotta hurt, hasn't it? That's gotta hurt. Fair play, Suella. She continues to slag off his doomed Rwanda plan, doesn't she? So, yeah, Suella, I think we've not seen the last of her. I really do. I mean, you've got to give her dues, and like I say, she'll be back in some form or another. So, Suella, you take 4th place. Right, coming in 3rd, yep, it's Lee Anderson. How can you not forget what he did this year? Don't worry, I've not got any more MPs left in my heroes list, but I had to put Lee Anderson in here for 2 main reasons. The first is I respect anyone who calls a spade and holds nothing back. And boy, did Lee Anderson hold nothing back. Who can remember back in August when all of the fuss was being made about the floating barge, the Bibi Stockholm, and when illegals were being thwarted on it because they said it would impact their mental health? Lee Anderson said, if they don't like it, you should boop off to France. Well, of course I laugh. Yeah, he's speaking for all of us. He didn't even get reprimanded for doing it because they know that he's speaking for the majority of the British public. You know, and you can say that again. Also, earlier on in November, when he was chair of the Home Affairs Committee meeting, he grilled the Home Office. And then those two, what are their names? Matthew Rycroft and Simon Ridley of the Home Office. He grilled them on how many of those arriving on small boats, not Albanians, had been returned. It couldn't be more the thick of it if it tried. I mean, it was an absolute joke, an absolute shambles. They were flicking papers around, the awkward silences. No, and he just said, I think it's not on, it's disgraceful. So, Lee Anderson, hat doffed to you there for exposing the Home Office incompetence. So, we're down to the final 2. Who's going to be the hero of the year? Well, let's first see who is 2nd place. 2nd, it goes to... Yep, that's right. It has to go to the weather. Whilst we all want these boats to be stopped, the weather played an enormous part in that. Living by the English Channel, the channel this year has been incredibly rough compared to 2022. When I was like swimming almost every other day in the summer. It was beautiful, but it wasn't beautiful for how many were coming across. Just take a few figures. Because the sea state was so rough, we didn't see as many. So Rishi might like to claim that he's responsible for the 33% fall in illegals. Nope. That 3rd fall was all down to Mother Nature. In March, I'm just going to read the 1st and 2nd of comparing March 2022 to March 2023, etc, etc, etc. So, March, 95, this year, 21. May, 82, this year, 36. July, 91, this year, 63. August, 192, this year, 102. September, 180, this year, 85. October, 147, this year, 40. November, 92, this year, 33. As you can see, that marked reduction is all due to the weather. You know, they're still coming, they're still coming this month. But you should see what it's like out there. So I think I need to thank Mother Nature. I really do. So, I got an idea. Bear with me. cold. There you go. Just thought I'd show my token of my appreciation there. So weather, thank you. You take second place. So who are my heroes of 2023? I think it's only fit and only right and only proper to give it to the hoteliers that refused to house illegal migrants in their hotels, telling both the government and Serco where to stick it. Filled me with great joy. Let's say these are heroes that defied the government, secured the staff their jobs, kept their promises of pre-booked rooms and functions. I mean, not all heroes wear capes in this day and age and this current cost of living crisis, where I'm sure that the offer of guaranteed occupancy, guaranteed repairs and renovation at absolutely no cost to them was there on the table, for which they didn't take. Have a watch of one of these heroes. His name's Richard Mappin of the Camelot Castle Hotel. Beautiful place. Watch what he had to say.
My primary concern is the damage that this does, as I say, to the local community. Also, I had another concern that you know, if these were people coming in from overseas that, let's say, weren't used to our culture, what would they trash the place, or would they damage the hotel? And I said, what would this government solution for that be? And they rather surprisingly said, well, don't worry, just take photographs of the rooms, and if there's any damage at all, it'll all be repaired at the government's expense. Well, of course, that's the taxpayers' expense. The other thing that was shocking to me, absolutely shocking, as I said, well, what would you need the same staffing level? So they said, oh, no, don't worry. You can fire all your staff, and all but 3. And if you don't want to keep those on, we just need the hotel cleaned once a week. And you literally couldn't make it up. And it would be funny if it wasn't for the fact that, a lot of elderly people around here are seriously worried about their bills. They are terrified as to what's going to happen this winter. And surely that is where money should be being spent, is to give such people relief.
What a legend he is. And guess what? I'd also like to do an honourable mention here to Richard Martin of the Blazing Donkey Hotel and Dee Allen of the Hatters Hotel in Skegness. I'm sure you're all aware of her plight. Well, good news. I've got her coming on a live stream. So stay tuned for more information of that. She is still suffering from the fallout of not accepting the government silver and doing the government's dirty work for them. I mean, it's going to be an honour and a privilege to speak to Dee, and I'm sure that I'll open it up for question and answers. But hoteliers, what more can I say? What more can I say? We need more of you hoteliers to say no. Say no, because if you don't and you do take it, you will suffer in the future, because your name will be tarnished, much like the RNLI. But I just want to say thank you, each and every one of you, for sticking with me, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing even. Yeah, get subscribing. I'd like to hit 4,000 soon if possible. So that's it. So that's it in a nutshell. Like I said, I've not edited it. You see, this is who I am. So I just want to say thank you once again, and enjoy your Christmas. Cheers, guys. Look forward to seeing you in 2024. Bye for now.